Hello, everybody. Be welcome on this first ESET webinar. We will have 5 speakers presenting their good practice. I'll give the word now to a round table of the speakers. Can Athena Vlashvey present herself? Athena, can you say?
Good morning. Hi. I'm Athena Vlachvey. I'm working in Argo, and I'm going to present my good practice about educational program in Barcelona.
Thank you. Liza, can you present yourself, where you are working and what you will present for good practice?
Good morning. My name is Lisa Larkin. I'm the Head of Services in Coalmine, and I'm going to be presenting a good practice this morning based on my traineeship in Phoenix Futures, and it's called the role badges.
Thank you, Liza. So now, Paulina, you can present yourself.
Okay. Hello, everybody. I work in trampoline in Belgium. I will present a good practice concerning social medias, use of social medias, and the name is creation of a virtual identity. Thank you.
Thank you, Paulina. And Kristina Bomova.
Hello, I'm Kristina. I'm from the Czech Republic. I will present today something about my traineeship in Belgium, trampoline, and it's called A Touch of the Future.
Thank you, Kristina. And finally, Kristina Vasileu.
Hello, good morning. My name is Kristina Vasiliou. I'm working in Argo, and I will present my good practice, which name is Black Light Theater Group.
Okay, thank you to all. So we will now start the presentation. Andrea, you can launch the PowerPoint. So, be welcome. You can go to the next page. Yes. So yes, some recommendations during this webinar. The microphones and the webcams should be off if not presenting or asked to talk. Second thing is use the chat when you are on the web, on the YouTube. Use the chat for comments and questions. And Zdenka, she will open and read your questions. Third recommendation is keep your comments short and to the point. 4, respect the facilitators' guidelines. So the facilitators are Zdenka and myself. We will present ourselves too, and Andrea too. And finally, yes, the working language is English. And so please, Zdenka, can you present yourself? Zdenka?
Yes, good morning. My name is Denka, and I'm from Magdalena, the Czech Republic. And I am very happy to see all of you here, our partners and friends. And I will be together with George taking the role of facilitator. And I will be the one who will ask your questions to our presenters. So please make points, ask us questions, and enjoy the webinar.
Yes, and Zdenka, she is also a member of the board of Ecett-Networks. Thank you, Zdenka. Andrea, he's also a member of the board. And can you say something more about yourself?
I will just welcome to this webinar, first of all, and I will just present a short idea we had about looking to the recent pandemic and lockdown with a good practice lens and with that kind of approach.
Can we go to the next slide of the presentation? This is still, yes, at the end, we will have a short feedback, but we will also send you a template for an evaluation of this webinar. This we will send by email. Can go to the next presentation. So thank you. So what is original? What is specific to ESET internships? So at the left side, you see the image of classic training, which is having one expert who speaks about some content, and the trainees are all together, but they are not active as experts. The main actor is the expert, and the trainees are more in a passive way of learning. So sometimes the trainees don't find in the classic presentation responses to their questions and their concrete problems on the job. So at that moment, they can ask help to Ecett-Networks, to Ecett Help Desk, and they become then the main actor of their learning process. So at the right side, you have the Ecett model of learning, which is the trainees. They contact their help desk and they start their travel file to visit one or two or three experts in a database of experts and host organizations. So at that moment, the trainee is the main actor, and the experts are there waiting if there is a question for them. So what you see is that the trainees, when they come back, they have to write a good practice. These good practices are validated, and then they come in a database of good practices, which you can see on the Ecett Learning platform, the database of good practices and the database of hosts. You can find them there. But today, what we are doing more is using these good practices as a classic, I would say, learning model for the webinar. And so these good practices come back to you. Okay, Andrea, next. Yes, this is the network of Ecett. You see that we have 400 hosts in Europe, which is much more trainingship places, because one host organization can have different teams and different departments. So there are more departments, there are 400 hosts. We have more than 500 good practices which have been written since 2007. There are 15 countries which participated to Ecett traineeships, but in these 15 countries, there are 12 help desks. And so for the countries which have no help desk, then you come to our help desk of Ecett-Networks in Belgium. In 10 years, we had more than 1,200 traineeships. This is an open source display, an open source tool, so everyone can join it just by having its login. And the fields of the sectors are the sector of addiction, youth, and social work. You can go to the next one. So we see here the two moments. At the left side, you have travel. So the journeyman, these are symbols of journeyman. They go to the host, they write a good practice, which comes in the database of good practice. And from there, we can make a webinar to share with all of you. Today, we have about 44 participants. Thank you, Andrea. So the webinar is interesting to overcome some obstacles. It's another way of exchanging good practices. The first problem for traveling is when there are no travel grants. You know, most of our internships were paid by mobility grants given by Erasmus Plus. Some years, the help desk did not receive or did not ask for mobility grants. So when there are no grants, webinar can be a solution. A second thing is the lack of time. It's easier to find 2 hours for listening to a presentation than finding 2 or 3 days to travel. Even if you learn more by traveling than through a webinar. But when you have not the time for traveling, the webinar is a good solution. And today, with the COVID-19, it's also a way to communicate with others through the webinar. So thank you, Andrea. That's all for me. Yeah, that's all. You can skip this one. You can go to the first presentation of Atina Vrashve, vocational program in Barcelona. Yes, Atina, the word is for you.
Okay, thank you. Good morning, everyone. I'm going to present you my good practice about the vocational program in Barcelona. So, in all interventions for the treatment of drug use problems, emphasis is placed on vocational training and reintegration, as it is a key criterion for successful social inclusion. It is also an important factor for maintaining subsistence and preventing relapse. Proyecto Home participates in a network of socially responsible companies, the Incorpora program. The Incorpora program is a job-based work program based on the needs of the social and business network and which guarantees the good integration of the individuals into the business. Through Incorpora program, companies have no-cost advice on subsides and tax breaks, as well as on previous support and monitoring of recruitment. Also, Proyecto Home, through the Sola European Social Fund project, aims to improve the skills of people threatened with social exclusion. This project allows collaboration with the most vulnerable users to enhance their skills, computer courses, how to do a CV in a pre-employment situation. This procedure is mandatory for all persons. After it has been achieved a high level in therapy, usually 8 months or more, the person begins sessions with Enrique, who is responsible for the vocational program. If the person is lacking skills, they prepare him through the Sola project to improve him. The next step is to register the CV in the database of Incorpora program. In the database, there is a history of cooperation for each candidate, for example, interviews, contracts, etc. Finally, through the network's database, every candidate is promoted to the most appropriate job. This project is aimed to people who have achieved a high level in therapy and are ready to enter the job market. The person from the staff involved should be a social worker and must have a knowledge of group coordination and some therapeutic techniques. The expected results are to enable these people to enter the labor market so they become independent and create a healthy life away from addiction. Thank you. I cannot hear you. You should open your microphone.
Voila, now I have my microphone. So thank you, Athena for this presentation. Zdenka, are there already some questions for Athena? Zdenka, I don't hear you.
We don't have no questions right now.
Okay. Okay, so you can still write on the chat your questions, and we will take them at the end of the presentation. And you say if it is addressed to one person, you say to which speaker your question is addressed. So now I will give the word to Lisa Larkin. And yes, Lisa, the word is on you. And Andrea, you can start the presentation.
Today I'm presenting one of my good practices. I would have done my traineeship in Phoenix Futures in 2015. Responsibility on them that they held in their therapeutic community. At that time, I was managing our mother and child service in Ashley House in Dublin. And
sorry,
yeah.
Andrea, the PowerPoint. We see it now? Okay.
My accent is very hard to understand, so I will try and speak slow.
Thank you. So we see now the PowerPoint. You can go on, Lisa.
Okay. So in Phoenix Futures, the widow, all the participants in the program had badges with their roles on them. And at the time, I was managing a mother and child therapeutic community in Dublin. And it had originally been a female-only therapeutic community, but it had evolved into a mother and child service. And unfortunately, some of the therapeutic community structure had diluted and the methods had diluted. And at the time, people weren't placing importance in their roles and responsibilities in the community that I was working in. So when I seen that the participants in Phoenix Futures had their responsibility in the community on a badge around their neck, I thought that it would be helpful to have this in Ashley House. Because at the time there was confusion over who was holding what responsibility in the community. Sometimes one of our women would go off the floor with their child and they wouldn't hand the responsibility over. And yet there just needed to be some emphasis put on the roles and responsibilities in the community. So following the placement, when I came back to Dublin, it was a very simple good practice actually to implement. There was a simple process following my traineeship where I spoke to the staff and the management about the idea of our clients having these role badges, and everybody was in agreement that it would be helpful. So it was very, very simple to design the badges. Financially, it didn't cost a lot of money. It was only €35. And so then what we then done was obviously speak to the community and let them know that going forward, that they would have these badges with their roles on them. And you know, if there was a reason that they had to leave their department in the community, that it's important that they hand over the position. What it also done was it put emphasis on the roles. So in my community, every 6 weeks, the roles change. So when we were doing a structure change and we were letting people know what their new roles were, the badges served as an award, you know, that when they were given the position, they were also given the badge around their neck. So it ignited pride in the roles. So it was very simple GP, very simple good practice, but the results were very impactful. So the clients now, they consistently hand over their positions and their badges if they're leaving the community. The departments are more organised. There's less interventions from staff, and it ignites the community's method in the community because everybody knows what position people have, and if they're straighting out the position, they must hand over the badge. So it's been really helpful in the community, and the badges are in all the communities in Coolmine now, not just in Ashley House. So they're in all our residential communities.
So thank you, Lisa.
Thank you. I hope you've understood me. I did try and speak slow.
It's okay. It's okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Now we can
I forgot. This is just some references associated to the badges by George de Leon. Obviously emphasising the importance of roles in the community. You know, and the social learning, the skills development that comes with people having their roles and responsibilities in the community. You know, and how important it is for community as methods. Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa. And so the presentation of Lisa will also be accessible on the Ecett platform. Andrea will put this presentation on the platform. You can see them again. And Andrea, you will also register the video of the presentation. This will also be accessible, yes? Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. So Andrea, he will put the registration of the video. Where will you put this, Andrea? Thank you, Andrea. Thank you, Andrea. We can go now to the third presentation by Pauline Aguila, which is creation of virtual identity.
They use this for the people who is looking for a job. So just
Paulina, can you wait for your PowerPoint presentation so you?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, okay. Okay, go on.
Oh, no,
Okay.
she will put it in immediately, I think, right? Okay. And they use just for people who is looking for a job in the last year of the school, high school, I guess. And we adapted for youngest people. I mean, from 10 to 14 years old, because we are seeing that they don't know which are dangers in using social medias or internet. So I adapted, and you will see it immediately on my PowerPoint. Okay, Andrea, it's okay. Okay, I adapted. So before the slide, the other one. Voila. Okay, this is the title, and then we can continue. Okay, the objectives are to prepare young people or students for a better use of social medias, and they have to become more responsible in the use of them. So I have to know what can I put inside. So we create a tool. We adapted a tool to work this. Okay, we can go to the description. Normally, we make groups of 4 or 5 students, but now with the COVID-19, we can't do it. We cannot do it, so I have to adapt it. Yesterday, I used it with my some students, but I couldn't do these groups because we can work on the classroom. Then I give one double-sided sheet per group. On one side, we can see our physical or material identity. So we have to know how I can present myself. I can introduce myself just when I see my friend at school or my classmate. Okay, what can I say? And the other side, a like, a like is a hand with the thumb raised up. Then the students they have to write some adjectives concerning the physical identity, and the other side the virtual identity. I give some examples, and then we can discuss. We make a debate. Okay, Andrea. Okay. When we do this activity, after this, we can discuss about it. And some of the questions I ask is, it's difficult to do. Which part of this activity was the most difficult to do? I had sometimes I have problems. Some risk. They have difficult to understand the question, and we have to explain. I did it with the 12 years old children, and they have some difficulties to understand questions, but I have to adapt all my questions. What I can show on me about me on the internet, this is another question. Okay, we can continue, Andrea. We can see an example here. I give just the empty drawing. So on the right, you can see what can I say about my physical or material identity when I see my classmate. I can present, I can introduce myself, I can give my phone number, my age, my social media account, address, etc., etc. And then we can go to the virtual identity on the other side. Andrea, please. Okay, what can I share on the internet? Most of children, they still have, it's really amazing because they have a profile on a public account. So they don't know. Some of them, they will share address or really name, and we work on it, and we say, no, okay, the group will say, okay, what we can share on it. For instance, songs, nickname, different publications, and not so private information. Okay, we can continue. I think we can see some pictures of Modena in the Chase Formazione, and then okay, these are my contact. If you want to contact me, you can send me an email to Trampoline, and I'll be glad to answer you. Thank you.
traineeship we are now benefiting from in Magdalena. So first was Kejan. It was a service for youngsters and their families. The atmosphere and the place of the place and the structure of care, like group meetings for children and parents separately, and then individual work together. That really inspired us and me and my colleagues. And the second was the Sloitl, the preventive service for teachers they are doing. We talked about transferring the competence of the general prevention programs to the teachers. I really liked the certainty, the obviousness of their opinion about it, and I also liked very much their tools and the way they work with them, upgrade them up to needs of nowadays teenagers. It was really inspiring too. And the third specific part was prevention center in Trampolina itself, which reminded me our preventive service in Magdalena the most in the Czech Republic. So I could just take some specific tools and tips I'm going to show you. And a little more about what we've really done. It should be, I think, on the fourth slide. So, and the last year we made one project named Kopretina, Daisy in English, and it's a pilot project including 3 key activities, and one of them is the establishment of a group for endangered youngsters and their families, like Kejan is. We used some principles from Kejan, like how often are they going to meet, and some specific parts. So this is one thing. The second is a transformation model of prevention. So I came home with the big idea. We have to stop offering general programs for students. We have to say it's the job for the teachers, not us. Yeah, but very soon we realized that the Czech teachers are not prepared for this relatively big change now. So we invented and started to offer something in between, some maybe mid-step, which is the transformation model of the preventive service. It's a 3-year service, which should lead the teachers to be well prepared and to feel confident about doing the preventing activities with their classes on their own. Now we have one school at the 3rd year and one at the 2nd, so we will see what's going to be the next step, how the pilot program is going to end. And then there are the 2 specific tools I came to the Czech Republic with. One of them, the first, is a home party picture. It's the left one from Trampolina, and it tries to describe different situations at the party. And the theme of it is alcohol and some risky behavior at party. So it's very simple to use, I think. For example, you can cut it into several pieces and give the pieces to groups of students. So one group have one situation and they try to discuss it, discuss what's risky about it, and what could we do to minimize the risks. And then they present it to the whole group of students. So it's really good. I think it's a great tool for evocation phase of the program. And the second one is a tool for preschool children teachers called The Hole in the Hedge. It's from the Sloitl, and it describes basic social skills and prevention situations in a very simple way. I liked it very much. The heroes of the book are vegetables. And they have some good and bad qualities, just like people. Children can learn from them, for example, why and when to say thank you and please, and these simple, maybe social skills or part of social skills. So it looked really interesting and attractive for preschool children. So we would like to offer something like that to our teachers too, but this specific tool is very expensive for us to translate and buy the copyrights. So we are working on that. We would like to get the money from somewhere and then to translate this really special tool. We would like to offer it to Czech teachers. So this is what we would like to do in the future, and I think we are doing the specific steps from the inspiration from this traineeship more and more, and I will get more inspiration in the reality in the future too. So still I'm working on it.
Template for getting travel grants at Erasmus Plus. We can do the same with other TCs or with other organizations. So do not hesitate to contact Ecett, Ecett at EU or contact at Ecett. Voilà. Andrea. Okay. Yes. So present her good practice.
Yes, hello. I will present Black Light Theatre Group, which takes place in Argo since 2007. In Argo, we use Black Light Theatre in addition with puppet technique, and I will explain you why. Black theater, in Black theater, there are no conversations, so it's a non-verbal way of expression and communication. We use the body. The body has its own experiences and feelings, helps the members to come in a deeper knowledge of themselves, and helps them to communicate with others. Also, in the scene of Black theater, there is dark. So, dark of Black theater helps to improve and explore new body movements without the fear of exposing themselves. On the other hand, puppet is a mean of symbolic expression. It protects, transforms, and reacts therapeutic to the members. All these have the result to discover new ways of expression. The members' inner sentimental world is being understood with a non-threatening way. The members try their feelings before they completely recognize them, come in contact with deep desires and fears, and they accept heavy feelings. So, these two techniques together help the members to grow their sentimental world. Our special goals are that Black theater frees the individual, helps the members to explore and understand themselves, help them to express feelings. Black theater increases the individual's imagination and creativity, help the members to communicate and cooperate, and help them to find alternative ways to fill in their free time. Every group is a journey which starts from the members bonding and ends with the performance. We usually follow 6 steps. First step is members bonding. A lot of exercises in this step, such as body exercises, concentration, relaxation, attention, observation, creativity, mimic, improvisation, etc. And all these exercises help the member to know to one another and come closer and finally to become a group. In the second step, we have the creation of the script. It's not a famous story, but it's a story written by the members. We usually use a visual or a sound stimulation, such as a picture or a poem or a music theme, and then with brainstorming, supplementation, team narration, the members write the story. In the third step, we decide about the structures the story needs. In this step, we have puppet and set construction and the music. We decide about the music our story needs. Also, we decide if our story needs some other ways of presentation, such as narration, pantomime, or shadow theater. Then follows the animation of the puppet. It's the most important step. In this step, members give life to the puppet. Animation needs self-adjustment, innovation, cooperation, communication. And then it's the performance. In front of an audience, and after we communicate with the audience and take reward from it. This helps self-confidence and self-image of the members. Finally, we have the evaluation of the whole project. We use questionnaires, discussion, open questions, and discuss with the members how was the whole project. There are two coordinators in this group. Its role is to encourage the members to take decisions in all steps. The two participate within the group without hesitating to expose themselves. They observe the whole procedure. They listen to the interests and needs of the members, noticing the group dynamics, and finally, noticing the members' sentimental involvement. The duration of the group is 1 hour and 30 minutes, and the group holds 8 to 12 members. I will close this presentation, I will finish this presentation by reading a member's words who says, "In the beginning, it was a game. In the duration, it became an opportunity of creation, relaxation, and understanding. Now it is one of the best experiences I had in my life." Thank you.
Thank you, Christina. So now we are at the end of the presentation of the good practices. I will give the word to Andrea for the tools for the COVID period.
Yes. Sorry. So we had this idea to start to reflect about what we experienced during the pandemic and during the lockdown, because therapeutic community has done a lot of things in order to support their residents, but also families. And to do that, we thought to use the method of Ecett, which is mainly based on good practices and knowledge exchanges. And so we set up a tool which is which will be available on a website in order to be filled in. It's a simplified version of the tool we normally use to evaluate and to collect information from the trainees who go with the Ecett program and who experienced the activity with the Ecett program. And so the idea is to share our experiences and to share our useful information because we know that what we have learned during the lockdown and during the pandemic, it will be useful also for our work in future. And the other idea is to keep connect people with knowledge exchanges, with the opportunities provided by new technologies and so on. So I won't take more time for that because I would like to see if there is question about what we have to do, what you have listened to, sorry. And I will give you this address also by email, and you will find it in the record version of the live stream. But it's very simple. It's www.ecett.eu/COVID-19. And there you will see that simplified version of the good practice database collection system, and you are invited to tell us what you experienced and which was your experience during this period. In order to facilitate your work, I provide a simple example of a good practice developed in Italy. As you know, in many communities in Italy we do encounter groups, self-help group for parents of the residents, and during the pandemic parents started to ask to the staff members and to the facilitators of the group to have the opportunity to continue see each other, to continue discussing about their problem and to see the others and so on. And so a group of volunteers and of staff members working as facilitators in the group decided to do the group, to make the group being online. And so they used new technologies, they used Meet in order to help people to attend the group. And the interesting things, and that's probably why this was a good practice, is that this way of doing the groups helped the people living very far from the community, far away from the community. In some cases, the residents are from Calabria, from Sicily, which means 1,000 kilometers from northern Italy, and in that way they may attend, they could attend the group, and so the idea is still going on because they ask to participate to the group from their house and from their country. So this was just a small example of a good practice developed during pandemic, but we are very curious and we are looking forward to seeing your good practices and to seeing what you will put in our database. Thank you.
Zdenka, did you have questions for the speakers?
Yes. Hello. I did indeed. Can we put them down? Can we ask our presenters? I had a question to Athena. Actually, a comment from Jessica. Hello, Jessica. And she's just writing that the social and labor reintegration is so important for people in treatment, and that she thanks Athena for bringing this topic up. And I can just agree on that, because in Magdalena, for us, work and inclusion in the society through work is also so very important. So it is one of the main attributes for people with addictions, or learning how to live without addictions, to get integrated into the major society again. So that was definitely very interesting. Edley is writing and asking about how long is the therapeutic program, the residential therapeutic program that Athena talked about. Athena, can I ask you to answer that question?
I'm not sure how long it is the therapeutic program. I think that after a level of therapy, a high level of therapy is achieved, usually 8 months or more, the person begins the vocational program. But I don't know how long is the duration of the whole program.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Athena. As we do have a long-term residential program in Magdalena, for us it lasts usually 8 to 15 months. So if that can be an information or inspiration for Edley.
Someone, if there is someone from Project Rome, he could answer this question.
Sorry,
Jessica.
Athena?
I'm saying that if Jessica is on the conversation, maybe she could answer the question.
She could indeed.
Yeah.
Jessica, if you can answer the question, please just write it into the chat line so that I can see it. Thank you. Well, nothing from Jessica for now, but we might come back to it a little bit later. Oh, Jessica, thank you. The residential program in Spain is about 6 months.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you, Athena. If there are any more questions to Athena and her good practice on vocational training, please go ahead. I will for now ask Lisa. There is a question on Lisa and her good practice on the badges, the role of badges. There was a question about whether the roles of clients change during their stay in the community.
Yes.
And how do the changes work with the badges?
Sorry, one sec. Yes, the roles change every 6 weeks in the therapeutic community. So when our clients first engage in the programme, they're given roles with less responsibility. But as they progress through their treatment programme, they're given roles with added responsibility as they progress with their recovery. What was the second part of the question?
How do the changes work with the badges?
How does what, sorry? Could you say that again, please?
How do the changes work with the badges? Meaning, if the clients change their roles,
yeah,
do they automatically change their badges as well?
Yes. So after 6 weeks, when we are doing a structure change and changing all the roles and responsibilities in the community, the badges are handed back into staff. And then when it's decided who is going to be taking on the new roles, they would then get the badge to go alongside their role.
Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, if there are any more questions to Lisa and her good practice on the role of badges, do not hesitate and write them down into our chat line. For now, I've got one question on Paulina. about her good practice on virtual identity. And the question is whether and what was the most successful tool that you could implement in Belgium in your environment from your GP?
Yes, it's very concrete, good practice. So and it's very simple to implement. So I had some problems to adapt it, but now the students, when they, for me, for us, it's important when they write, especially the virtual identity, when they write all adjectives or how can I say about me on the internet, when they see it writing, they say, okay, it's really important to know what can we say. We cannot say everything we want, you know. That's I have a successful with this good practice because they can take conscience, they are conscious after this, that they can say on, they can think about it so much. And for teachers too, because they are there, teacher is there on the classroom. Okay. It's okay.
That's perfect. Thank you, Paulina. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, and I have one more question, George. I hope the time allows.
Yes.
Thank you. There is a question on Christina from Magdalena, and question comes from me, actually. I was wondering why teachers in Belgium can do the primary prevention on their own, and the teachers in the Czech Republic cannot. What is the difference? Why is it so difficult for us in the Czech Republic to implement the sustainable primary prevention program in schools, at schools?
Yeah, I think the problem in the Czech Republic is at first in the university when the students of pedagogy are not prepared to be class teachers, to work with their children on the relationships between them and to do the prevention. So when they graduate, they don't know a thing about it, and they just think, I will do the mathematics and the PE, and they actually don't like working with relationships and social skills and these ones. So firstly, we have to persuade them. It's really important. It's like for us the half of the work. If you do it well, you don't have problems in mathematics then with the students too, and it's really hard. And I think the other thing is that in Belgium, really less and less organizations like us offer the programs of the basic primary prevention, like to do it with the children. They just tell you are the ones who should do that, and that's not the practice in the Czech Republic. We offer it. I think most of the organizations offer the programs for children and students and youth, and then it's like we are saying you should do that, but we can do it too. And if you have money, just call us and we will come. So I think it's like two different signals, and I think it's just easier for teachers to call us and we when we come to the school. So I think this is the main problem and the main difference. But we are not prepared now for doing the big change, like to close or the general prevention program, because it could stay as, I think it could cost the life of our preventive center. So we are trying to do little changes, little steps to get to the future, which is now the presence in Belgium.
Yes, Paulina. Paulina, you hear me? Yes.
Yes.
Isn't it that in Belgium, the Ministry of Education gives some hours to each school for making courses like you are doing with the virtual identity? There is the possibility given by the ministry for doing that, and even money, isn't it?
Yes, but they gave us money to do it a few years ago, but we don't have any money now. And teachers, they don't do as you said very well. This Christina, teachers, they don't have enough time to do it. And here it's there the rules in Belgium. It's very complicated because they have to go. Teachers, they work, they give knowledge, mathematics, French, other courses, but they don't have time to do prevention. So they call us, and we go there, and they pay for it. And there are not so many institutions to do it as trampoline work with social skills. They don't do it. We have the expertise, and that's why we work with all kind of population, students, young people in the institution, homes, everywhere, and teachers, professionals, all kind of people. It's very big work we do here on prevention.
Thank you, Paulina. Zenka, are there still some questions?
George, no more questions for now.
Okay.
Unless there is anyone that would like to post a question into our chat line, you are very welcome to do it right now. I have taken the liberty to post a contact for Ecett. In the chat line, you will find the website that we've mentioned. Also, you will find an email address to contact us should you need it or want to know more information. I'm also going to post a link about the COVID tool that Andrea has spoken about and presented. So should you want to have a look at it and fill it in, use it, you can use the link that I just posted. Otherwise, George, I am not seeing any more questions. So the word goes back to you.
Okay, thank you. Andrea, do you have something to say now? Okay.
Yes, just one thing. At the end of the meeting during this weekend, you will receive an online questionnaire in order to tell us if you appreciated what we have done and if we may improve something. And so we ask you to answer to the questionnaire. And by doing that and by completing the form about good practices developed during the pandemic and lockdown, you will receive a certificate of attendance for today's meeting.
Thank you, Andrea. So yes, this is important for us. This is our first webinar, and so we have a lot to learn. So if you can send us proposals and feedback, we will be able to make a better webinar the next time. So please answer to the evaluation that Andrea will send you. So I think that we can close the webinar now. If someone else has something to say before we close? Nobody? Thank you to all the speakers, and thank you for all the participants to having take part to this first webinar. Thank you very much, and bye-bye.